Good evening, Warriors, and welcome back to another episode of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. It is Sunday, January 25th, 2026, and this is episode 29 of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report, your YouTube channel, your show for all things Grass Lake athletics, from pre K all the way up to our seniors. We want to celebrate every Warrior moment, and it's up to you. Keep them scores coming in, keep them highlights coming in, keep them standings and stories coming in. We'll put everything on there that you send me, plus some. So we've got a lot in store for you this week. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying safe. It's been cold and snowy out there, but our Warriors are still competing. So I've got as much in store for you this week for this episode as I can possibly get my hands on. So without further ado, hey, here we go. Let's talk about some Warrior hoop action. If you're out there, you've got any information on some Warriors hoops, feel free to email me at glsportsweeklyreport at gmail.com. I know we've got some middle school girls in action. I know we've got some youth girls in action, JV, varsity, all in action. And if you've got pictures, you've got highlights, you've got stories, scores, anything that you feel we need to celebrate, that we want to celebrate on the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report, shoot me an email. Let me know. Let's celebrate all things Grass Lakes Warriors. But in hoops, our varsity boys basketball team was in action twice this week. Their first game of the week was at home against Addison, and the Warriors put up a season high 69 points and earned their first win of the season and first for head coach Jason O'Neill, 69-40. Braden Gilbert and Connor Sherwood both led the Warriors with 18 points. Congratulations, Warriors. The Warriors followed that up with another home competition on Thursday night against Leslie. And here are some highlights from that action. Varsity boys were able to keep it close in the first half, but unfortunately, a very good Leslie Blackhawks team pulled away in the second half. Boys lost that one 71-42. Braden Gilbert scored 17 points to lead the Warriors. This week, the boys JV and varsity will be at Vandercook on Tuesday night to take on Jayhawks, and then back at home on Thursday to take on East Jackson. Our JV boys hoops team had two competitions this week. They started out the week on Tuesday at home against Addison. Here's some highlights from that competition. The boys dominated the game and won 50-35. Every Warrior scored. James Warburton led the team with 14 points, Evan Matthews with 10, and Sebastian Jans with 8. The boys then took on Leslie at home on Thursday night, and here are your highlights from that action. Boys got down early in the game and continued to battle back, but came up short, losing to Leslie 42-47. Wesley Rule led the Warriors with 13 points, Evan Matthews with 11, and James Warburton with 7. So that brings the JV season win total to 3 on the year. And just as the boys varsity team, they will be at Vandercook on Tuesday and back at home Thursday night against East Jackson. Our girls team only had one matchup this past week as their Friday's competition was postponed, rescheduled, canceled, whatever it may be. I know they didn't play just because all the schools being canceled that day. So hopefully they get that rescheduled. But they did have a competition on Wednesday at home against Jonesville. The girls were able to win that conference game 62-23. That brings the girls varsity team season record to 10-1 and 8-0 in the conference. Our girls varsity team also sits at number 3 in the Michigan High School Athletic Association power rankings, just behind McBain and Beaverton in Division 3. So congratulations to those Warriors. And that just shows that they are competing at a high level. The girls will be back in action this week, Monday night, traveling out to Chelsea High School to take on the Bulldogs in a non-conference game. And then Wednesday, traveling out to Addison for conference action against the Panthers. And then again on Friday night at East Jackson. So big road week. Once again, Monday at Chelsea, Wednesday at Addison, and then Friday at East Jackson. And just a reminder, time is running out. Free admission for all Grass Lake High School students during the boys and girls home basketball games. So all you have to do is show your ID, show your student ID at the table when you show up to the gym, and you will get in for free. Let's pack the gym for those Warriors' last few home games of the season. There is only a couple left, so make sure you get in there, pack the gym, be loud, and bring the energy. And then also coming up this weekend in hoops action, we have some of our younger teams. I know for sure 6th grade and 8th grade teams will be traveling out to Jackson College for a tournament this weekend. So lots of hoops action going on this week in Warrior Nation. I have got lots and lots of Warrior Wrestling news for you this week. We'll get things kicked off with our middle school crew. They were back out at Vandercook for a second week in a row, this time against Addison, Napoleon, and Vandercook. Out of 40 matches, the Warriors came away with 26 wins. Memphis Hall with 2 first-round pins on the night against Addison. Jack Hinkle with a first-round pin against Vandercook Lake. Striker Dominic with a first-round pin against Addison. Frankie Zebo with a first-round pin against Napoleon. Lewis Hilbear with 2 first-round pins, one against Addison, once against Napoleon. Jonathan Meyer with a hard-fought 2-1 decision over Addison, and a 21-4 tech fall over Addison. Colton White with a first-round pin over Addison. Cooper Zeba with a second-round pin over Addison. Dayton Stoddard with 2 first-round pins, one over Vandercook Lake, one over Addison. Sam Riccardi with a first-round pin over Addison, and an 18-3 tech fall versus Addison. Brody Perwago with a first-round pin over Addison. Cameron Kaiser with a tough match, 11-9 decision over Addison. Charlie Gaffkey with a 14-2 major win over Napoleon and a first-round pin versus Addison. Josh Holda with a first-round pin versus Napoleon. Violet Clapperch with a first-round pin versus Addison. Colton White with a first-round pin versus Napoleon. Gus Latshaw with a first-round pin versus Addison. Wesley Charles with a first-round pin versus Vandercook Lake. And Gunnar Davis with a first-round pin versus Napoleon. The middle schoolers will have 2 competitions this week. Count them 2. One on Tuesday night at Manchester, and then Friday night at Chelsea for the Chelsea invite. So good week of wrestling for our middle school Warriors. Our high school wrestlers were in action this week. I'm not sure if they had the meet at Columbia Central on Wednesday. I'm not sure if that got canceled, delayed, rescheduled. I did not hear any information on that. But then we did go Friday to the Duran girls individual invite, where Ava Hall competed in the 100-pound weight class. She won her first match with a pin, earning her a second place finish in that tournament. So, congratulations to Ava. Then on Saturday, the boys competed in that same Duran Invitational, and Grass Lake finished 6th as a team in the 16-team event. Brady Cromery took first place at the 138-pound division. Aiden Durham took first place at the 144-pound division and remains undefeated on the season. Brandon Rohde won the title at the 126-pound division. And Aiden Johnson finished second at the 113-pound division. And congratulations to Brandon Rohde being named the lower weight MVP and taking his season record to 21-1. In youth wrestling news, Wesley Charles and a handful of Warrior athletes traveled down to the Kalamazoo County Expo Center for the first ever Michigan Warzone State Championships on Saturday and Sunday. And here's some highlights from that action. Wesley had a rough day on the mats, competing against wrestlers that had far more experience than him. But as I try to convince him that we learn more from the losses than we do the wins, um, he competed hard, and I seen him do things that he had never done before. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to grasp a win. He still had a couple good matches, and one that he took to overtime. Unfortunately, he lost, but was able to take to overtime. Wesley with a single leg takedown to take the early 3-0 lead in the first period. Wesley finds his way in a reversal here to take a lead 5-3 late in the second period. Wesley's still in the lead with about 8 seconds to go, and his opponent manages a reversal with 2 seconds to tie it up 5-5 and take it into overtime. Unfortunately, he would lose in sudden death overtime, but extremely proud of what he accomplished and what he did on the day. Sixth grader striker Dominic was also at the Warzone State Championships, and he was registered to compete in the 102-pound division. Was crowned champion because there was no other wrestlers to compete in that weight class, and then he decided to wrestle up also in the 107-pound division, making it all the way to the championship match in that weight class. Lots of action in the first round. Striker finds himself down 9-4 going into the second period. Striker takes a hard fall to the mat. Unfortunately, was pinned after that. Um, as you can see, kind of a scary moment for Striker. Said he didn't even recall being pinned. Fortunately, hit his head on the mat. Seemed to be moving around okay, but they were taking care of him. Um, and I did talk to him later. He was all smiles, just happy to be out there wrestling, and he is back. He's healthy, so all's good. But congratulations to him, finishing second place, wrestling up one weight class from where he weighed in. Great job, Striker. Dylan Clayton also wrestled at the Warzone State Championships and found himself with 2 wins, one by tech fall and one with a pin. Dylan finds himself up at the beginning of the second period, manages a reversal or two, and finishes it off with a nice pin for the win. Nice job, Dylan. Dylan's brother, Tyler, also wrestled in the Michigan Warzone State Championships. And like Wesley, was against some stiff competition. Unfortunately, not able to find a win on a day, but did have a good last match of the day. Tyler with a nice 3-point takedown to get on the board. Tyler starts his final period of his final match of the day, just down by one, trying to find something. Late in the round, late in the match, Tyler finds a reversal for 2 points, unfortunately, coming up short, losing 5-7. At any rate, great job, Tyler. Takes a lot of guts to get out there and do what you're doing, buddy. Our last Warrior Wrestler of the day, Emmett Moore, found his way to the championship match of his weight class. Emmett finds himself down 6-2 starting the second period. Emmett battled hard through that second period, unable to score any points, but did not give up any points as well. Heading into the final period, the score remains the same, 6-2. And unfortunately, Emmett found himself in a pin. But congratulations on that second place finish, Emmett Moore. So congratulations to all those Warrior wrestlers that competed at that state championship in Kalamazoo. Uh, it takes a lot of guts to get out there in a wrestling mat and do what you guys do. In the Cascades Conference Youth Wrestling League, their final event of the season was on Sunday afternoon out at Columbia Central. I guess I shouldn't say afternoon because it starts early in the morning and goes till the afternoon. But we had a handful of wrestlers, I think we had 16 wrestlers out there for that event on Sunday. Out of 26 teams, the Warriors finished in fourth place behind Columbia Central, Hanover, and Addison. Adam Hall Jr. finished in first place with 2 pins on the day, to include this one right here. I heard a story a year and a half ago, maybe ish. Adam Hall Jr. said he's good at two things: math and bullshitting. I think he's a pretty good wrestler, too, with a great cradle pin right here for the win. Bo Cromery with a first place finish and 2 pins. Brian Lockwood with a first place finish and 2 pins. Everett Kelly with a second place finish and 2 pins on the day. Gordon Thompson with a third place finish. Hagen Paul with a fourth place finish. Harrison Wilder with a fourth place finish. Harry Ives with a second place finish and a pin. Hudson Kellenberger with a first place finish and 4 pins. Count them, 4 pins on the day. Jack Zans with a first place finish and 2 pins. Geisen Leithid with a first place finish and a pin. Liam Kinsella with a third place finish. Marshall Johnson with a second place finish. Owen Bigford with a fourth place finish. Peyton Camilleri with a second place finish and 2 pins on the day. And Xander Dakota with a first place finish and a pin on the day. So, congratulations to all those youth wrestlers that wrestled over the weekend, and to those whose season is done. Be proud of your accomplishments. Be proud to be a warrior. In hockey news, Jackson Zebel and his Jackson United hockey team battled in the Chelsea Showcase out Arctic Coliseum this weekend. Their first game at the Arctic Coliseum was Friday night against Rockford. Unfortunately, Jackson United came up short, losing to Rockford, a tough Rockford team. Remember, Rockford is a Division One team, giant school. Uh, Losing that matchup 2-6. United then regrouped for a Saturday game at 1 o'clock against the Genesee Generals. Your lineup for the Jackson United team, game number 20. They take it down to the wire, unfortunately losing in overtime 6-7. Coming up for Jackson United Wednesday at Optimus Ice Arena, Teacher Appreciation Night. They will be taking on Lenawee United. And then on Saturday, they will be taking on Chelsea at Optimus Ice Arena. I'm sure that will be a good one. So if you got some time, you want to see some hockey, those are your places to be. Optimus Ice Arena on Wednesday night, and then again on Saturday. Go United. In Warrior Bowling news, the Michigan High School Interscholastic Bowling Coaches Association rankings came out for the first week, and our Grass Lake boys are ranked number 3 in Division 3, and our girls are ranked number 4. So congratulations to those two teams. The two teams headed out to Jack 60 this weekend for the Mel Wolf Invitational, taking on some tough teams. The girls qualified number 4 overall and then battled into the bracket play, unfortunately losing in the first round to Tecumseh. But way to go, girls. And then the boys finished in 24th place out of 31st in the qualifying round, and unfortunately didn't make it to the um, bracket play. But great job for both them teams, and hope they had fun and enjoyed the day. In baseball, softball news, don't forget that the Grass Lake Summer Youth League baseball and softball sign up is open until February 15th. Make sure you get your little Warriors signed up. And like I said, I guess I shouldn't call them little, because the Grass Lake Summer Youth League offers programs from T-ball all the way up to 14U. So, but make sure you get them signed up. We've got just a couple more weeks left to get them kids registered to play baseball this spring and into summer. Also, we'll be having more open gyms, so please be on the lookout for those announcements through either the elementary announcements or the middle school announcements, as well as the Grass Lake Summer Youth League Facebook page. And don't forget, I will be doing pitching workouts every Wednesday night until spring break in the auxiliary gym from 7:30 to 9. This is for 11 and 12-year-olds or 10-year-olds that are playing up a division. We're working on all things pitching. Just feel free to show up any night you like. We get started at 7:30 and go till about 9. If you got any questions, feel free to email me directly and I will get you squared away and headed in the right direction. Also, the high school baseball team is looking to raise some funds for their program, and they're looking for fence line banner sponsorships. If you're interested in something like that, please get a hold of Coach Sullen, and he will give you information, get you squared away, and get you a banner up on that fence to help support our baseball program and your business. And it's almost time for the 2026 Warrior Club Cash-O-Rama. Tickets are available now, $100 per couple. Get you dinner, drinks, dancing, and a chance to win big money. This is the Warrior Club's biggest fundraiser of the year. Helps to make the money that is used to buy much needed supplies for our school's athletic programs. So get your tickets now. Pick your decade. Get dressed up and come out and have a great night. You can get those tickets from any Warrior Club member or the high school office. They can take cash, credit card, Venmo, check, whatever you got to do to pay. They can make it happen. So make sure you get your ticket by February 23rd to be entered into the early bird drawing. That's an additional drawing for $150. Once again, this is a great time for a great cause. Get your tickets now. So, looking at the GrassLakeWarriors.com official athletic website for our middle school and high school sporting events coming up this week on Monday, we've got 7th and 8th grade girls basketball against Hanover Horton at home. And then girls JV and varsity will travel to Chelsea to take on the Bulldogs. And then on Tuesday night, we've got boys JV and varsity basketball traveling to Vandercook Lake, as well as competitive cheer team traveling to Leslie. And then on Wednesday, both the boys and girls taking on Napoleon in bowling at Suburban Lanes, as well as the 7th and 8th grade girls basketball team traveling down to Jonesville. The girls JV basketball Addison is canceled, but the girls' varsity game is still alive, so they will travel to Addison to take on the Panthers Wednesday night, 6 o'clock tip off. Then on Thursday, it's showing boys JV basketball at East Jackson. Then the bowling teams are back at it again Friday night against Michigan Center at Suburban Lanes. Saturday morning, home wrestling for our varsity Warriors. It says it's at the middle school. I'm not sure if it's at the middle school or the high school, but this is what the schedule's saying. It's at the middle school. But our wrestlers will be at home for the Warrior invite. And then our power lifters are back in action for the first time in a while. They will head over to Napoleon for regional competition. So if you check out the GoFan app that has a few more events on it. Mainly this one right here on Friday night. The middle school wrestling team will be traveling to Chelsea for the Chelsea Middle School Wrestling Invite. Should be a good time for those wrestlers out there in Chelsea. Well, that's all I have for you for this episode of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what our Grass Lake athletes have been doing this last week. And I'm looking forward to even a better week next week. Remember, this is a community driven project. Please send me your scores, send me your highlights, send me your stories, send me your pictures. We want to get everything that we can possibly put onto this channel to celebrate our Grass Lake athletes. You can send them to me at Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report at gmail.com. And if you have any ideas, any suggestions for the program, I'm all ears. I want to make this program for you as good as possible. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tell your friends. And until next time, God bless our kids. God bless our community. And go Warriors.